Welcome to the AI Beehive Podcast, Real Estate and Mortgage Pros. This is your buzz for smarter tech, faster deals, and less grind. Let's get started.
Well, hey there. Welcome to another episode of the AI Beehive Podcast. My name is Ginger Bell. I have my co-host with me, George Chevalier. George, hey there. How are you?
Hey. And John, we want to welcome you to the Hive.
Thanks,
Now,
guys.
I love the way that you're talking about Rome today. Not just talking about meeting tools, but about how you use the full AI powered office integration that they have. Now, you've really put it at the center of Mpire Financial's operation. And I'm excited really to dig in with you to see how it's changed the game for you and your team. Let's talk about that. A lot of people, John, a lot of folks, they're piecing different systems together. They got Zoom, Slack, Calendly to run their business, but you made it simple. You just said, "Hey, I'm gonna replace all that with Rome." What made you do that?
Man, I saw Rome first in just a news article, and I first saw the design, and I immediately grasped the concept and how it could be successful. So, and to give them credit, ever since that moment, they've built out tenfold in the features they've added and the cool stuff. So, like when I joined them, it was basically just a few different types of office rooms. There was like a theater and a whiteboard style room, and then your basic conversational office, that you could pop in and pop out of an office and talk to your associates, and then your instant messaging and whatnot. And ever since then, the things that they've added has just been astronomical. It's basically replaced 7 to 8 different systems for us.
Wow. And that's such a common struggle, having to have 12 tabs open on your computer and trying to bounce back and forth throughout the day. But
Yeah.
Rome eliminates all those tabs.
And 12 less subscriptions as well.
So we're saving money too, right?
Saving a lot of money, I can tell you that.
So let's unpack that. And first of all, John, I want to begin with, tell us a little bit about your business and, what your organization looks like.
Yeah, we started Mpire Financial roughly 4 years ago. So we're still somewhat new, but we're growing pretty rapidly. We are proud to say we are now about $1 billion mortgage company. So
congratulations.
That's
Awesome.
been a big goal of ours. And, we just have a great culture here. We built it off efficient technology. We're trying to lead into the future and not learn and follow. So we're kind of seeing all the tools that we have at hand and trying to innovate and get creative with how we can use them in our business, like Rome. So, that's our biggest focus, is just trying to build a great culture around incredible technology.
I love that. So in terms of size-wise, because I want our audience to understand, and like you, I saw Rome. I actually was in an AI virtual conference, and they used Rome for the conference. And then had the one of the founders on that talked about Rome. And I'm like, man, this is amazing. I mean, the things that you could do and the interaction, and you could go behind stage and the speakers on stage. And I do a lot of webinars. So that to me was very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But the other thing is, because it has the Zoom element, and let's start with that. So how many LOs, and because you have not just for your LOs, but you have your ops side and you have all of that as well, right? So how many would you say that you have that are using Rome right now?
Well, not only all of our 265 employees are in Rome, but we actually opened it up to all of our lenders as well. So one thing that was important and not even just our lenders, basically anyone that's a resource.
Okay.
We wanted it to be efficient, and anyone that you wanted or needed to talk to was just a click of away. So we have all of our account executives. We have about 2 or 3 account executive floors. We have all of our processing partners have an office. We have some of our CRMs, credit. We have our virtual assistants in there. So all in all, we're probably pushing 400 something accounts, and it just works flawlessly.
Right. So your account executives, and let's look at that, because obviously as account executives, and you have LOs that they're calling on as well, but you're opening it up to them to be able to have those conversations. And I'm thinking about, when you have that, and this is how I saw it, it's like, say, in our audience, they're wholesalers, they're loan officers, they're brokers, they're, retail, everything. We have a lot of different business structures within the industry.
Mm-hmm.
So you work on the wholesale side, so you have account executives, but they can also open that up to where the loan officers can also have that. So each account executive can, in essence, create their own. And this is how I saw it, is like, if you could have all of your, real estate agents, I mean, hey, we'll have one office and all the real estate agents for that office in there. So it kind of allows you to create this almost, it's almost like a network in a sense. I mean, is that what you saw? Is that how you're using it?
Yeah, they're doing some really cool stuff with their vision for it. So I don't want to put words in their mouth, but it's almost like a social media style atmosphere. They have this thing called the Overworld, and I own a few companies. So I actually host different companies in the Overworld, and I can jump between offices.
And seriously?
Different employees. So my hope is for the future, if they can just basically link together the entire mortgage world, and we can all just hang out in the Overworld.
Oh my gosh!
Between offices. So I see John tomorrow, and Howard and Peter and all them. I'm going to keep putting that bug in their ear of just how they can even enhance it further for the mortgage industry.
I love that, the overworld. So for our listeners, so let's kind of unpack this a little bit. And I know, George, you're the one, you've been using it in your business as a broker. I've been using it in my business as a consultant. Mm-hmm. And John, obviously, you've been using it in your business as a wholesale provider, TPO. So it begins with the basic, and that's kind of where I saw it. It's like you're replacing Zoom. So that's the very first thing, right? So walk me through that.
Yeah, I came from companies that relied heavily on Zoom, and honestly, it just got tedious to keep clicking links to go to people and meet up and not meet up. I love the fact that with this aspect, you could actually see like a face in an office, but it wasn't like a cheesy video game style where you had characters. It was just more or less like a profile picture in a square, so you could see that person was available, and if you needed to talk to them, it was just one click away. I think that they boast the most that they have like the fastest meetings out of every platform. Like their average meeting is like 7.5 or 8 minutes. And I see why. It's because if I'm going through Zoom, I have to type in a domain or an effort, whatever it might be. There's like that lag time of getting my camera ready and all that. And it's really like 1.5 minutes, or let's call it, before you're even in the room. This is just much easier. Anyone I want to talk to, I'm there within 10 seconds, if that. So I see why they are kind of coming up and starting to change the industry for them.
Yeah. So it begins with that. So there's the Zoom, so replacing the meetings, and that we do that all the time. Mm-hmm. The second thing that really got me is they call it the lobby, but that replaces your Calendly.
Correct.
And so everybody started using Calendly. If you're not using Calendly, you need to use something like that because it saves so much. Yep. So now you can have your lobby, and you can set up different ones. So you can have different ones. Like, I do a lot of different podcasts. I'm setting up for the podcasts. How are you using that as far as a lobby, and how are your AEs using that?
We've completely replaced Calendly using it. So it's wonderful because we basically used to pay the same amount for Calendly as we do Roam. So that took a huge expense off of us. And it also gives all of our AEs a free customized, it's called lobby links. Mm-hmm. The nice thing is it gives people direct access to the office, and it shows if you're in your office. So what we did is we took those links and embedded it in our own software. So now like people can see in an entirely different platform if our AE is in our virtual office, so they can just one click access it too. So just a very simple and stylish calendar. It's kind of a simple tool that just takes a nice expense off of you and integrates it with what you're working on.
Yeah. And the integration is very important too.
Yeah.
Now I know, George, you loved what was happening as far as the screen recording and the video recording, the magic.
The magic.
Yeah. What is it called?
Magic Cast.
The magic. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It replaces Loom basically. So we use it in our town halls. I'll just go and record everything and right from my screen, and it's beautiful. It's another cost that it saves us, but it gets rid of Loom.
I love it.
It's nice. Now that brings up an interesting thought here. Walk us through a day at Mpire Financial inside Rome. For example, how does your team use it in the morning when they have the morning huddles, or when you have your group meetings for the entire company?
Mhm.
Walk us through that.
Yeah, the cool thing is to kind of scroll through the platform and see everyone having their scheduled meetings and whatnot. It's a very cool experience to see like a team meeting on a certain floor and just see, oh, they're all talking. If I want to, I could pop in and surprise them. We run like our Monday operations meeting through it because we're kind of spread across the country. We have people in Texas, South Carolina, and it's nice because you can just quickly have the scheduled meeting. It plays that fun entrance music, like you remember, George, and then you just talk, and it automatically assigns a task to the people in that meeting. It's phenomenal. So it's almost like you have another person on staff as you're operating it. So we'll have our scheduled meetings. I'll see just the AEs pop in and out. It's really cool to see trainings and see people like in a theater and like just the packed theater around like, maybe we have like a guest speaker or a specific training going on. You'll frequently see all hands chats of all the LOs collaborating with each other and saying, what's a good lender for a 20 unit DSCR, or who's offering large acreage loans. And it's just kind of replaces that maybe Facebook style thread or atmosphere where you can communicate with everybody. And it's nice to have it searchable and easy to use. So it really is like they took every aspect you would want out of a physical office and brought it to a virtual world. And people actually feel like it helps build a culture. You see the same faces in the office every day. You kind of see where they're located. You're interacting with them throughout the day. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I love the way that you set up your town hall meetings in that giant theater.
Yeah.
And what a lot of people don't know is that theater could hold up to 3,000 people.
Yeah.
And let's talk about that, because I know a lot of times you have folks backstage and they're getting prepped. Let's talk about that, because a lot of companies don't even know that feature exists.
Yeah, so it's great for large presentations because so many times they set up their theater unique. Like on your typical Zoom, one person is talking and everyone is watching. And if one person interrupts, it like messes up the whole thing, right? Mm-hmm. In this circumstance, they created rows, and it's about 5 people to a row. So you can talk to your row and nobody else can hear you. You can even whisper over the speaker and stuff. And the speaker doesn't get interrupted because he can't hear anything, which is great because it lets you get into a flow and not have you constantly taken out by somebody's mic forgetting to be on, or somebody interrupting with a question. So they actually have to go up to a microphone, excuse me, in order to ask a question to the speaker. And there's also like a backstage feature where like if I'm a speaker, I could see somebody backstage. They could be giving me like cues, maybe chiming in, and the audience can't hear them, or they're like about to come on stage. So like it's like a real life theater that they brought to the virtual world. And if you're sitting next to somebody in your row, you can talk to them. But if you're looking at somebody on stage, they can't hear you. So It's very, very real, I guess you could say.
Yeah, it is. It's very, very real. So I think when I think about Rome, then I think about that digital office, that virtual office, and how it really saves you an additional expense of having a physical office because of all the employees that you have. Could you imagine having to have physical offices all around the country?
I know.
And yet we see Rome just saves you a ton of money.
And I could tell you, even the owners, they're such great people. They're not money hungry. They're honestly trying to build a great product. And they show that by the product is low cost. I think it's only like $19.
It's less than, I say $18.88. They just went up.
Yeah.
But the reason it went up recently is they added the new feature, the AI. And so, and that's called On It. And you get your own virtual assistant that integrates with everything. And I know you're using On It for a lot of different things and meeting follow-up, loan desk scenario questions. I think I saw something you're doing that. So tell me about that.
So they have, excuse me, 2 different features. It's an assistant and a coworker. So they're almost like 2 different AI helpers. One is I can summon my assistant to my office and ask it to reach out to my sales managers, manage my schedule, send an email, yada, 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 stuff like that. I can build a coworker and feed it information and have it be a resource to everyone in the company. Hypothetically, we feed all of our lender data to an AI coworker. So people can literally go, instead of going and maybe going to each individual person, they can go to the office of the coworker and say, hey, I'm looking for a lender that offers a bank statement loan, 20% down for whatever it might be. And it will actually feed you that data and point you to the right person, know all their information, give you the phone number, the website. It knows everything about the lender. Same with compliance. We made like a compliance coworker that knows RESPA, it knows TRID, it knows like those little things that you want to just quickly ask. You just pop into that office within a few seconds. It's instant answering, and you're live communicating, talking to basically an AI bot that knows all the compliance. So, and then we urge our account executives to all build their own AI bot. They can fill it with whatever lender data they want, whatever specific info. And that way, if they're in a meeting, people can actually pop into their bot and ask them whatever questions that the bot typically 9 times out of 10 could probably answer, unless it's a file on fire.
Right.
The bot could typically know. So it helps just lessen communication and kind of keep the communication to important.
Wow. It's almost like you have an AI twin or clone representing you.
I want superhumans, man. I want, yeah.
And John, being the CEO of a company, and granted, hands off, 4 years, some of the toughest years in our industry. So
wait for that refi boom.
Yeah, exactly. So congratulations on that. But having the vision to do that, I think is critical as well. I was just on a conversation with an attorney, and we were just talking about, because she's writing a white paper on the legal aspect of AI. So talk to me about that, because I know being a CEO, obviously that's a concern, right?
It is. It's actually interesting how much more we're seeing it pop up. Like for example, mortgage audits are now asking us if any part of the process has been completed with AI. And like, it's kind of like, it is. So what do you want now? And it's evolving so fast and so new that you almost feel like a lot of regulation and law is being created while we're going. And it's nobody really knows too much, to protect the data and whatnot and stuff. But it's very interesting to see where it's popping up and how they're having us regulate it, as we share how we're using it.
Yeah. In a non-regulated, which is not unusual for us in the mortgage industry. Obviously, for years we went unregulated, other than a few, things, RESPA and TILA and things like that, to the other side of being overregulated. And so, as companies start adopting more and more AI and integrating it into your business protocols, having that idea as far as what that looks like, and as much as we hate getting those policies and procedures, I think having those in place are important as well. And obviously, being a wholesale lender, your clients are the Georges of the world, who are the brokers. So for them, it's important to work with organizations like Mpire, who first of all are leading the way, because I don't know anyone else is doing what you're doing. Second of all, already have an awareness of what they need to do. So those are things that are important.
Yeah, it's it's definitely been fun. Seeing it seems like it's evolving by the month at this point.
Yeah.
Even coming out with the GPT-5 the other day and the capability that has, it's just it's getting fun, a little scary. I feel like people are so worried AI is going to replace you. You should be more occupied with replacing yourself, if you know what I mean.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and how you streamlined it, because when you think about, before we started on the recording, you were talking about how Rome, and for those of you who are listening, we're going to give you some, how you can find out about Rome and what it does before we end. But with Rome, it does magic minutes. So it records everything, which is not anything new. It's like Zoom has something like that. There's Read AI that does that. I mean, there's a lot of things like that. But the difference with Rome, and this is what I kind of want to get our listeners to, Rome replaces, I think 7 or 8 different things. So you can go and check it out as far as beginning your Zoom, your meetings, your Calendly, all of those things. But then what it does is it will record your meetings. And then at the end of the meeting, then it really gets into the magic. So talk to me about that, John.
Yeah, basically it'll analyze all of your conversations and organize the action items for you, which is great because it just lets you effortlessly talk without worrying about a note taker. The AI is the note taker. The beautiful thing is it lets you reference that meeting by just adding the conversation, saying like, hey, at meeting name, what did we say 2 weeks ago about this? So that's a really cool feature that I don't feel like a lot of the Teams and Zoom and stuff have, is that reoccurring conversation reference in the meeting. But the action items are great because then when you get back into the assistant, like it's great for, if I could just go on a tangent about how much I use it for a pipeline review, right? When I was, even all of our LOs now, they'll host a meeting with their LOA, their processor, they'll record magic minutes, and then they'll have their assistant follow up on the action items because the action items are automatically assigned by AI based on what was said in that meeting. So if George said he was going to go call Mr. Jones and he's my LOA, let's say, I would say, hey, Ace, my AI assistant, go please follow up with George and make sure that task was done. It would knock on George's office because it was all coordinated in the magic minutes. If George said yes, it would auto complete that action item and take it off his to-do list. So the best thing that the Magic Minutes does, even with the action items, is it just lets you talk and work and not worry about the organization or the follow-up. It's just happening around you as you're working.
Wow. And I'm sure that's had an impact on your client experience. For example, how have you used Roam to improve your client side of the business in regards to, are you seeing better relationships developed or better response times?
Yeah, I try to show it off. So it's consumer facing, meaning you can give it a link, you can assign it to a domain, johnsoffice.com, whatever it might be, put it on your business card, and your clients can actually visit you in your office. And everyone's just so amazed, like, wow, what is this? I love hosting trainings to realtors, first-time home buyers, whatever it might be, and just showing off the platform. It gives us almost like instant credibility, like, look at us, we're using this. You know that we're using good tech and we're worth something. So it's great to have them in there and say, anytime you want to, go to this domain, click this link, pop in my office. I can share. You can leave a message with my AI assistant. You can also record magic minutes from your conversation and you can give them access to it. So if I'm doing a 10:03, guys, and if I'm on magic minutes, I can invite them to that meeting and we can reference that application whenever we want to.
Nice.
Yeah. Very cool. Well, first of all, John, thank you for your time. We appreciate it. I know as a CEO of a very busy billion-dollar company, congratulations. And your time is very valuable. So we appreciate that. And also sharing, being able to help others. When George and I saw this, with the AI Beehive, obviously it's important for us to bring technology to loan officers, to real estate agents. And this is not just on the mortgage side. I think on the real estate side, equally the same. So you have to be forward thinking with technology. You have to be a leader like John is, to be able to say, you know what? Yes, it's going to take a little bit for people to learn, but once they get in and they learn it, it just saves so much time and all those things that you've addressed. So thank you for that. For our listeners, how can people first of all, how can you help our listeners, which obviously loan officers, real estate agents, and how can they get a hold of you?
Ooh, the easiest way, why don't you guys follow me on Instagram? It's @moto_loans. It's probably my easiest way to get a hold of me. Message me, follow me, anything there, and I'll get back with you. That's probably best.
Okay, cool. And then for Mpire, same thing, guys. If you're looking for someone that can help, you do, so much in the world of mortgage. So we appreciate all of that.
Thanks, guys. It was great hanging out with you.
Yeah, we loved it. So if you're interested in finding more about Roam, we've been creating some training videos and things like that about Roam. You can go to roamrocks.com and find out. We're making more and more videos about how to set things up specifically within the mortgage space. So you go to roamrocks.com, you can find out about Roam. And then obviously for any other AI tools that you're looking for, make sure and check out aibeehive.com. We actually just got our app on the iPhone, and it'll be out on the Android very soon. So you can download it and start searching for AI tools. So George, thank you so much. John, thank you so much. And we look forward to seeing you on the next podcast.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thanks for tuning in to the AI Beehive Podcast, where real estate and mortgage pros get the buzz on all things AI. Don't forget to subscribe, share the buzz, and visit www.aibeehive.com to keep building your smarter business. Until next time.